Could your brain be changing long before memory issues appear? Top neurologists reveal early, hidden warning signs of dementia. Especially sign number 10, doctors view it with serious concern. We'll start with sign 1, a fading sense of smell. Many dismiss it, but this could signal brain degeneration. If you find favorite foods lack their familiar strong aroma, or you miss subtle scents, a groundbreaking study from the University of Chicago, featuring over 3,000 older adults, found that individuals unable to identify at least 4 of 5 common odors were over twice as likely to experience dementia within half a decade. The occurrence is due to the olfactory bulb, which handles smell processing, is directly linked to the hippocampus region, and these are among the initial brain areas impacted by dementia's onset. As these brain cells begin to perish, the ability to smell is lost, yet many attribute it to natural aging or simple allergies, and this critical early warning sign is completely ignored. Next, sign 2. Difficulties with your regular sleep patterns. This isn't just about reduced sleep or waking up occasionally. We mean persistent sleep disturbances, making it hard to fall asleep, where sleep quality has sharply decreased, or you wake up repeatedly each night and remain unrested. Your brain actively cleanses during deep sleep via a system named the glymphatic system, which actively flushes out toxic proteins, including amyloid plaques with Alzheimer's. If your sleep structure deteriorates, these toxins build up more quickly than your brain can eliminate them, creating a detrimental loop where poor sleep harms the brain, leading to even poorer sleep. Many individuals dismiss this situation as stress or simple aging, but it's actually your brain urgently signaling that its primary maintenance system has failed. Sign 3. Your handwriting appears increasingly smaller and more constricted. Consider something you wrote half a decade ago, then compare it with your current handwriting. If your letters seem distinctly smaller, more compacted, and challenging to decipher, this condition, known as micrographia, serves as a neurological red flag. The specialized motor control centers within your brain, especially the basal ganglia, govern the fluid, automatic movements essential for writing. As these areas begin to degenerate, your brain loses its capacity to produce the appropriate range of movement. Consequently, movements become smaller and more restricted. The same mechanism influences other automatic motions, yet handwriting remains one of the simplest things to monitor and compare over periods. Sign 4. Your ability to multitask isn't what it once was. Recall managing dinner, kids' homework, and planning your day, all simultaneously. However, if someone talks mid-task, you completely lose track of it. This happens because your brain's executive function, which the frontal lobes control, is beginning to decline. These specific areas handle planning, organizing, and managing several information streams at once. As dementia develops, the prefrontal cortex loses neurons and connections, preventing juggling multiple tasks. Many believe they're simply more forgetful or distracted, but it's a true indicator of failing brain circuits. Sign number 5. Your natural arm swing while walking has altered or vanished. Observe yourself in a mirror or shop window as you pass by. Do both arms swing naturally and in symmetry? Or is one arm barely moving, or perhaps both hang stiffly by your sides? Natural arm swing is regulated by complex motor programs within your brain, operating automatically without conscious thought. When the motor cortex and basal ganglia start degenerating, these automatic programs malfunction, and your movements grow more rigid and less fluid. This is precisely the mechanism that produces the shuffling gait and stooped posture observed in advanced dementia. Yet it begins years earlier with subtle arm swing changes that nearly everyone overlooks. Sign 6. A loss of interest in beloved hobbies and social activities. Cherish. This isn't depression, though it may feel comparable. You once felt thrilled about your weekly book club, woodworking, or playing cards with friends. But currently, you simply can't be bothered. This occurs because the brain's reward system, involving midbrain dopamine circuits, begins to malfunction. As these circuits degenerate, one loses the capacity to feel pleasure and anticipation from activities that once brought joy. Your brain is literally losing its ability to feel motivated and engaged. Many attribute this to aging or fatigue, but it's truly a sign that critical motivational circuits in your brain are failing. Sign number 7. You experience increasing difficulty with visual and spatial judgment. Distances are misjudged when parking your vehicle or grasping for items. You struggle with reading or distinguishing various colors. You more frequently collide with door frames or furniture. These problems are not caused by worsening eyesight. They're due to visual processing centers in your occipital and parietal lobes degenerating. These brain regions process raw visual input from your eyes, making sense of it. They calculate distances, understand spatial relationships, and build your world's visual map. Sign 8. Following complex conversations or television shows becomes difficult. You once enjoyed intricate mystery shows or engaging in complicated discussions about politics or philosophy. Now, you often feel completely lost. You struggle to track individuals, events, or connections. This occurs as the temporal lobes responsible for processing complex auditory data and forming coherent narratives from event sequences are degenerating. Your brain loses the ability to retain multiple information pieces in working memory and combine them into a meaningful story. Many assume shows are too complex or they're too fatigued to focus. But this actually indicates language processing and semantic memory circuits are failing. Sign number 9. Your reaction time has dramatically decelerated. You were once quick to respond while driving or catching a falling item, but now you observe a noticeable delay between perceiving an event and your body's response. This isn't related to your muscles becoming slower. It's about your brain needing more time to process data and create motor commands. Neural circuit processing speed relies on the integrity of myelin sheaths insulating nerve fibers and the efficiency of neurotransmitter systems. As dementia begins to develop, these systems degrade, leading to considerable delays in information processing across the brain. People often attribute this to age, but processing speed shouldn't drop this sharply unless actual neurodegeneration is occurring. Sign number 10. You're encountering subtle personality shifts. Family members might observe increased irritability, suspicion, or apathy. The earliest parts of the brain that dementia typically impacts include those managing impulse control and social judgment. With the decline of neurons in these specific areas, one subsequently forfeits the complex neural pathways which truly define your distinct identity. A tolerant and compassionate individual may transform into someone impatient and discourteous. Someone who was once gregarious could become quite reserved. These are neither personal failings nor conscious decisions. Rather, they indicate that the cerebral tissue managing one's personality is truly vanishing. Sign number 11. You begin to experience difficulty with previously routine and familiar tasks. Activities you've performed countless times, such as preparing your special meal or navigating your regular path to the market, unexpectedly become perplexing and challenging. You must consciously process every stage, rather than executing it instinctively. This phenomenon arises because procedural memory, responsible for retaining instinctive actions and abilities, is primarily processed within the basal ganglia and cerebellum. Should these regions deteriorate, the brain's automatic functions begin to fail, requiring one to consciously deliberate actions that would normally be effortless. Many individuals fail to identify this as a genuine warning sign, since they are still able to finish the activity provided they concentrate. However, the fundamental warning lies in the need for deliberate thought, contrasting with its usual automatic execution. Sign number 12. You find yourself putting objects in quite unconventional places. Beyond merely losing track of your key's location, you might discover your billfold inside the fridge or your spectacles within the medicine cabinet. Such unusual instances of misplaced items occur as the neural pathways which associate objects with their correct positions begin to deteriorate. The hippocampus is responsible for forming spatial maps and forging connections between various items and their settings. As it commences its decline, these connections become thoroughly muddled, resulting in objects being deposited in utterly irrational spots. What renders this particularly troubling is the frequent inability of individuals to retrace their actions or discern their logic, given that the recollection of where the object was left had never been appropriately formed from the outset. The paramount aspect to grasp is that every one of these indicators manifests many years, or even several decades, prior to a dementia diagnosis. Once cognitive issues related to recall become sufficiently apparent for medical confirmation, extensive quantities of cerebral matter will have already sustained substantial damage, and at that stage, recovery is virtually unattainable. However, should you detect these initial indicators of trouble, you still possess an opportunity to intervene. Your brain possesses a remarkable ability to both recover and renew itself, especially when it receives adequate support. This includes optimal nourishment through a balanced diet, sufficient oxygenation via robust cardiovascular health, and most crucially, continuous activation facilitated by bodily activity and intellectual involvement. The essential lies in taking immediate action, provided that your brain still possesses sufficient intact cerebral matter to initiate a healing process. After an excessive number of neurons have perished, the surviving neural cells plainly lack the means to restore what has been compromised. Should you have observed any of these indicators within yourself or a dear individual, please leave a remark in the comment section and share with me which one particularly resonated with you. And if you deemed this content beneficial, please consider liking this video to ensure a wider audience identifies these early indicators prior to irreversible progression.